Hello, this is Janny B with another scenery video. I was just contemplating because I had read on Quora about a girl and sounded just like my ex, who basically love bombed the shit out of her, and for a period of time, don't know how long, and you know, she was his soulmate. They were going to have this great future together, and you know, everything was, the chemistry was incredible. The time with him was off the charts, and there was time they were together when they could be, and all this stuff. And of course, that didn't last. He had been cheating on her the whole time and basically dropped her like a sack of potatoes when he was finished. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like exactly what happened to me. And of course, she also said he had been cheating on her the whole time. And that's what happened to me too. And I remember at the time, I was always questioning. It was the cognitive dissonance, which I didn't know existed. That maybe was the hardest thing. Because I'd be questioning, how can somebody be this in love with me if he's cheating on me? Of course, it can't be, but the time with him was just so amazing, and like he was in constant contact with me. To this day, I don't know how he even had the time to do it, but he certainly did, and he was an online predator. He catfished young girls, and he was in his 50s, and as well as was on the hunt all the time. That's how I knew he was cheating, because, well, a few other things, but I mean, I couldn't go out with him, and he was eyeballing all the anything that walked that looked nice. He was like devouring with his eyes. So anyway, damn, I hate when this happens. It got me thinking, why? Like, or how did they do it, or why? And I think not all of them, because I have been with a few different ones, and they're not all exactly the same. But with this one and this type, he was a diagnosed psychopath. It could be that's what she was with. I don't know. It's the act of making you fall in love with them that they love. It isn't, people will say they love how you make them feel, and that's true. They don't love you. They love how you make them feel. And that is true, but to put another angle on it, it's also, it inspires them or excites them to make you fall in love with them. And it's not even so much like they're sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to make her fall in love with me today. It's not so much that they have no good feelings to you. It's, but they are mirroring you, and they keep all their other shit going. So when you find that out, obviously you're not all that happy. Come on, Lily. And you start not being so happy, and then they start not being so happy, and the spiral begins. But up to that point, they're in love with making you fall in love with them. The power. I mean, what power? I never thought of people that way. So it never really occurred to me that this could happen. Lily! And but can you imagine, to somebody that does think that way, the power you have? If you can make somebody fall madly head over heels in love with you, and the game is, what will they do with you? What can you make them do? And the power of it, like there's nothing else like it. I couldn't imagine if that's your thing. So there you are, if you're wondering, and you're in cognitive dissonance right now. You're thinking, well, how could he possibly not love me with all that he's doing? And, you know, he's not bad. He does mean it. He loves me. Well, he probably does in some way. He loves you because you're the one that will let him do all this stuff. You're the one that will do all of this stuff for him. I'm actually coming off of, I'm still healing, and through the whole process, have been amazed, because I'll suddenly turn a corner, and it'll be a corner I didn't realize that I even needed to turn. And one of them is my profanity. I have videos I used to make and put on, and they were very funny, but I the mouth I had on me And I was like that, like in daily life. It was like, fuck you, every minute of the day. And not that I was saying that to people, I just mean like that was kind of the attitude. And I still have a bit of a potty mouth. It's kind of the way we live around here. I do it in humor and a little rebellion. I'm 55 and I figure, what the hell, right? But this is kind of a little profane. When I was with the last one, I of course was getting the feeling I was really basically only allowed to see him a couple times a week, and he'd say come over whenever you want, but he wouldn't be there during the day. He would never make time just for us to do anything. I could hang out and follow him around if I wanted to, if he was even there to do that with, and he wouldn't adjust his schedule so we could see each other. He literally would leave when I was getting there because he had been doing something like that we could have had a good time doing. And so it made him late leaving, so he couldn't be back in time to see me. It was very, very hurtful. And his rules, he had very structured rules. A lot of them are OCD. And he'd be home around 6 o'clock, pretty much. You could set your watch by it every night. Didn't like to go out. I mean, unless he was going out, and which he didn't do a lot, but that's another subject. So, I mean, after a while, it just got to feel like I was his booty call. And I would say that, and I would say, like, you just want to be with me, basically, to you know what, to get to the nasty one. And as I realized later, it wasn't even me. It was just because I would let him. I was the one that would come to his house. I was the one that would let him. It could have been anybody. And I really believe that. He'd go on about how, oh, he wanted to date me. You know, we live in the same town. He's wanted to date me for decades, and, you know, and all this kind of stuff. But the truth is, once he did date me, he never made time for me for nothing. Like, I wasn't nothing special. I used to say this ain't no love story. And it really wasn't. And that's the thing. That's the thing. They like you because you'll let them. You'll let them do whatever they want. And you will make it easy, and you will adjust your life and give up your life so they can do what they want. Who the fuck wouldn't, honestly? If you were wired that way, for me, that really doesn't turn me on. I want a partner who gives and takes, not one that just gives with an agenda so they can just take later. It's not really my thing. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that insight because I've been researching this stuff for years now, and I can never really put my finger on exactly how that worked. And the cognitive dissonance is it'll bring you down. It's horrid. And if you're in that right now, hopefully that'll make it clear. They don't love you. They love you, and they love how they make you feel, but they love mostly that you'll let them. You're the person. You're the go-to. And after they get tired of you, which they will, they'll find another one. So just get out while you're ahead. Save yourself so much heartache and shit, and even tearing down of your life that you may never get back. And even people, you may lose your kids, you may lose your friends, you may lose your job, you may lose your house, you may lose your health, you may lose your life. And I'm not even kidding. So if this sounds like you, get out now. If you got that kicked in the stomach feeling, get out, because it's no good. It's no good. That's not happiness, and that's not smooth love. That's hard love, and it's no good. Have a great day, and look up some more of my videos on Janny B. Janib. See you later. Have a good day.